The Ghana Statistical Service has disclosed that 5.7% economic growth for the year 2024 was largely driven by data and SMS and information and communication services. During the presentation of the 2025 budget, Finance Minister Dr. Kassia Atoforsen stated that the 5.7% economic growth recorded in 2024 was primarily driven by illegal small-scale mining, also known as galamsey. Addressing Parliament, the government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna-Enim stated that the services sector contributed the most to the economic growth. ChannelOne News' Ni Aikwe Okain reports.
Following the reading of the 2025 budget by the Finance Minister Dr. Kassia Atoforsen to Parliament on Tuesday, some members of Parliament have been sharing varied opinions on the presentation.
During the Akotobu Dam spillage, you are from the Volta region. You saw the way our people were left in their fate. My district was one of the hardest hit. Look at the amount of money, 242 million Ghana cedis. To take care of them. Why wouldn't I be happy? I'm proud I'm in a government. Look at the provision that was made for Agabeji residents in Ketu South. Look at it. Government is for the people. Power lies in the hands of the people because they elect you. But when this thing happened, but MPP didn't get zero in all these places that I've mentioned. There were people that were working for them. They have parliamentary candidates, but they didn't mind them. They didn't mind our people simply because of our location.
After inheriting a GDP of 1.2 trillion cedis, they would have taken us forward. They would have grown the economy further, inheriting growth rate and year growth rate of 5.7. You take us to minimum 6 or 6.5. You don't take us backwards to 4%. That is terrible. Inheriting gross international reserve of 4 months import cover, approximately $8.9 billion. You don't take us backwards to only 3 months import cover. And so clearly there is no aspect of this budget that is inspiring. Then they talk about 51.8 million cedis to set up Women's Bank. Which bank can use 51 million cedis for capitalization? You need minimum 400 million to capitalize a bank. And so if you really want to set up a bank, properly so-called, you cannot joke with 51.8 million.
My prayer is that Parliament consider this statement urgently for it to be approved so that Ghanaians can get a bit of relief. We have suffered too much. So first of all, I'm sure you were all worried. If under one term, one president, since independence, we've had 13 presidents. The 12th president accumulated a total debt of 120 billion Ghana cedis. Only one president in 8 years has moved it to 726 billion. That is minor state-owned enterprises. We will never miss President Akufo-Addo. We will never. He has run down this country and posterity will judge them all.
The government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna-Enim appeared in Parliament on Wednesday and stated that the 5.7% economic growth recorded in the year 2024 was largely driven by data and SMS under the Information and Communication Services, contrary to assertion by the Finance Minister Dr. Kassia Atoforsen that the economic growth was largely driven by illegal mining, also known as galamsey.
Of the 5.7% growth rate that we saw in GDP, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, the services sector contributed the most, 2.51 percentage points of the 5.7% GDP growth rate that we saw for 2024, followed by the industry sector, which mining and quarrying is part, gold is part, which contributed 2.24% of that. The agricultural sector contributed 0.6 percentage points, and net indirect taxes contributed 0.33%. So we really need to look at further disaggregation of the 5.7 and the contribution of the various sectors. And as I said clearly, the services sector contributed the most of 2.51%. Honorable Speaker, you can drill further down and clearly you see that within the services sector, what is driving the services sector is information and communication, and in this case is data and SMS messages that we are using.
Female members of Parliament on Wednesday made statements on the floor to commemorate the International Women's Day, calling on the government to exhibit commitment towards the implementation of the Affirmative Action Gender Equality Act to achieve gender equity. For Channel One News from Parliament, Ni Ayukweyi Okan.